there, Wargamers, and welcome to another Sanctioned Battle Report. I'm joined once again by Mike.
Howdy.
Howdy. And as you've probably seen, we've already done a couple battle reports, some cool Zone Mortalis stuff. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. You get to see his Astra Militarum and Veterans and Militarum Tempestus go at it against both Grey Knights and Sisters, so fun games. But anyway, we have another battle report for you today at 1,500 points, doing something a little bit more standard. It's going to be a Maelstrom mission of tactical escalation. So it's all hammer and anvil and basically drawing more and more objectives every single turn. So we're going to have that sense of desperation as I get blown off the table and his tanks just sort of hang around there. You'll be playing your Astra Militarum.
Yep.
And it's a tank company this time, for the most part.
Tanks.
Lots of tanks. And I'll be playing my Admech with Cult Mechanicus, Scutari, and some Space Marines allied in for the, the rented drop pod service. Yeah, they just painted them up in Admech colors for this game. So that's what I'll be running. We're going to go take a look at everything in just a second. But if you guys ever want to come in and get a game with us, go to MiniWarGaming.com/challenge. We love to hear from you. We love to see new people, like meet new people, see new armies, that sort of stuff. Hit us up and we will do whatever we can to make that a reality because, like I said, we love to meet new people. We love to see new people. And without you guys, then you just see us playing against each other a lot. And that just gets boring until one of us hits the other person. I mean, it will happen eventually, but we don't want to. So anyway, let's go take a look at the table and the armies. So here we have Mike's 1,500 points of Imperial Guard. What do you got?
So we have the command tank is this guy with Punisher and 3 heavy bolters, in a squad with another Punisher and 3 heavy bolters. I have one little engine seer guy to maybe fix something. 2 squads of veterans. This one has a Melta, and that's all the upgrades they get. They're there just to hold objectives. We have 2 Leman Russ Annihilators with a las cannon and heavy bolters, sponsons. We have 2 Leman Russ battle tanks with just the heavy bolters, and 2 Leman Russes with the Exterminator autocannon. Las cannons, this one has 2 heavy bolters, this one has 2 multi-meltas.
Alright, I have to admit, I'm not used to seeing such a small Imperial Guard army.
It's weird.
It's a little off. Alright, so that is the 1,500 points of Guard. And across the way, we have my combined force of Admech and Marines. So leading it all, we do have my Tech Priest Dominus. His Warlord ability is going to allow him to re-roll his Feel No Pains. Now with all the las cannons and battle cannons, whoop-de-doo, Basil! It's not going to really matter. Aside from that, he is bare bones. We have 1 unit of Rangers to sit back and hold an objective. They do have the Transuranic arquebuses, just so they can maybe pick off some of your veterans and cause some problems there. We have a unit of Vanguard, which are going to be going in a drop pod. And they are loaded out with 3 Haywire. Yeah, I know that one looks like a Plasma Caliver, but I'm running it as a arc rifle for this particular game. And the Alpha will have a arc pistol and arc maul. In the back, we got a unit of Breachers with heavy arc rifles, a unit of Destroyers with heavy grav cannons, and a unit of Castellans. Now, they don't have the arm-mounted heavy phosphor blasters because I ran out of points. So just the Carapace one and their fists. So I'm going to hope to run them up the board and just open things up like cans. Then we have the Space Marine Combined Arms Detachment in the back. We have a Mastery Level 2 Librarian leading the charge with a Force Sword. We have a unit of Scouts with Sniper Rifles. And we have a Tactical Marine Squad. Ignore that Power Fist. Not actually there, he just has Gigantism in his one hand. I have 2 Fast Attack Drop Pods. And I have a unit of Stern Guard loaded out with Combi Meltas in a dedicated drop pod transport for themselves. And one last note, the psychic powers that my librarian has, he rolled on Divination and got perfect timing and forewarning. So that is going to be my 1,500 points. Here's the table we're going to be playing on. So with tactical escalation, Mike's actually going to get a nice little advantage because there's lots of lanes of fire going down the long table edge here. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me to get anything that's not drop potting in nice and close. So we already did all the rolls. He's chosen his side. He's opted for me to deploy first. So we're going to go to town with that one and jump right into the game. So we are all deployed. I have my Rangers, the Dominus with the Destroyers. The Scouts have infiltrated up. Some Marines and the Castellans hanging out right over there. So I'm holding on to a couple objectives. And then we have the 2 squads of veterans over here, and just 1 giant line of tanks. So that's it's going to be a tough nut to crack. So anyway, Mike did win the roll. He told me to deploy first, so I'm currently going first, unless he can seize the initiative.
Let's give it a try. Almost.
No, not quite. All right, so we're going to go into first turn for the Adeptus Mechanicus. So as we go into the first turn, I'll draw my first objective, overwhelming firepower. So I have to eliminate an enemy unit during the shooting phase. So my first action is going to bring the Stern Guard with the Librarian down and the Combi Meltas right there, right in front of the Lehman Russes with the battle cannons. Going to see where I scatter.
Oh boy.
Oh, 12 inches. And it looks like it's going to scatter. I actually have to check that out. So instead of being right in front of the battle cannons, which I was hoping to force a 5-up cover save with every shot, instead it's going to go right in front of the, what are they called? Punishers?
Punisher.
Yeah, the Punishers. And they are just going to disembark and go for the side arc. This 13 is better than 14 when it goes to me shooting at it. Next up is going to be the drop pod full of the Vanguard, and they're going to try the same thing that the Stern Guard tried to do. They will scatter 7 inches. Oh, that's going to be a tight one. Can I grab the measuring tape?
Just irritating.
So 7 inches would take them to there. So basically, it just bounces off like a Super Bowl. And they're all just going to come piling out, get as much of their arc rifles within range, and just try to go to town on that tank. Before I forget, my Canticle is going to be the Benediction of the Omniscience, so I can reroll 1s and 2s in the shooting phase for the Cult Mechanicus. Yeah, I should have declared another one, but that's already what I declared to Mike, so unfortunately I got to go with that one, because now I'm looking at everything going, that's kind of a dumb one to use. And my Doctrine Imperative is going to be the Ballistic Skill +3, Weapon Skill -2 for the first turn. Castellans are just going to move forward 6 inches, and their first couple turns are probably just going to be them running forward quite a bit. And then the Marines over here, they're just going to move over far enough that they'll still stay majority in cover, but hold on to objective number 3. Speaking of which, objective number 3 is going to be a 2, nothing of note. Then these Rangers over here are just going to stay on objective number 2, which will be also nothing of note. And the Scout's going to hang put on objective number 6 here. Oh, goody! It's an exploding one. So they could blow themselves off the table. And that will end my movement phase. Most of my stuff staying put, kind of relying on my little Alpha Strike right here. We're going to see how well that goes down. Going to jump into the Psychic phase. I'm going to have D6 +2. For a total of 7, and Mike will have 5. I'm going to start by trying to cast Prescience on my Stern Guard here. Going to throw 4 dice at it. It will succeed with 2. Would you like to try and deny that?
Yeah.
Alright. Ooh,
almost.
Not quite. So Prescience will go off, and they will reroll their hits. Next up, I'm going to try and cast Forewarning. Warp Charge 1. Oh, and all perils. So they will have a 4-up invulnerable save. The perils... Ooh, okay. He is going to become an Ubermensch. So he now has Flesh Bane, Armor Bane, Feel No Pain, whole bunch of super stuff. He just became a Superman. Although he's not going to be able to get to use most of it because he can't charge this turn.
This is true.
And the very last thing, I'm going to 1 die for Warning just to ignore cover, which will go off. Moving into the shooting phase, going to unload all 4 of my Combi Meltas into the... that is a squadron, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all 4 Combi Meltas into that. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling. So re-roll that 1. So all 4 will hit. So the first one will be a penetrating hit. Second one will not. Third one will. And fourth one will not. So actually only 2 penetrating hits. That could have been way worse.
Could have been.
So the first penetrating hit is just going to explode the front tank, which does happen to be the Warlord one as well.
Yep.
And the second one is just going to be shaken. So it's just going to be snap firing in its turn and lose 1 hull point. Next up, the Vanguard are going to fire into the 2 Lehman Russes there with their arc rifles and arc pistol. So these are all hitting on 2s with a reroll on 5. So let's see what happens. So that 1 gets rerolled. So that is going to be 2, 4, 6 hits. And that will result... Wow! Only 2 hull points. My Alpha Strike is not going as anticipated here, as that Leman Russ is only down to 1 hull point, and yeah, I'm going to take a battle cannon to the face, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe. This drop pod's going to fire the Storm Bolter into that unit of veterans right there. 2 hits, and 2 wounds.
I get a 5-up save.
Yep, because you did try to put them all in cover. One veteran goes down. These scouts are going to fire into the same unit of veterans. I can only actually see 3 of them, so I can only possibly kill 3. But here goes. I'll be 3 hits. And no wounds. Castellans are just going to run forward for a total of 2 inches. Not quite enough. And my last shots for the turn, the 2 Transuranic arquebuses are going to fire into this unit of veterans. Going to try and cause enough damage to maybe make them run away. Hitting on 2s. Both going to hit. Wounding on 4s. Both going to wound. Now, I do also have the Omnispecs in there, which reduces your cover save by 1.
So, 6 up.
6 up cover save. That one is definitely cocked. Yeah, go ahead and reroll that one.
Nope.
No. So 2 will go down, and that is going to be enough to force a morale check. That's going to bring us to the end of the shooting phase. So 1 morale check that needs to be made.
They're actually running.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's right. They're leadership 8 with the sergeant, aren't they?
Yep. And they're running 6 inches.
Okay.
So go this way.
Yeah, so they're going to have to wrap around the drop pod there. And that will end the Admech's first turn. So not actually as devastating as I was planning it to be. Only took out 1 tank and only kind of wounded this one here. The only real saving grace for this was the fact that he is now shaken and I got a Warlord kill. So I'm about to take some pretty heavy firepower back on Mike's first turn. Let's see what he can do. At the start of the turn, his first objective will be objective number 4. Objective number 4 happens to be one his veterans are currently sitting on. These Leman Russes, what are these, exterminators?
The Annihilators.
Annihilators, okay. They're just going to angle around and take some aim at the Sternguard here. I'm very thankful I got forewarning off right now for that fork. A little bit. This Punisher that is only shaken, so it's just going to be snap firing this turn. Just going to
get all of its guns.
Take aim as well. Okay. Then we need to see if the veterans rally. Oh no!
They're on.
Oh. Only 3 inches, so they're not gone just yet. You're going to get another turn to try. And really, they should rally. Theoretically.
One would hope.
One would hope, exactly. Leman Russes just going to shuffle over a little bit just to get better lanes of fire. These veterans going to move through cover 5 inches, and they're just going to shift around a little bit just so they can get better line of sight on all the Vanguard that have popped up front here. So they've just moved up a little bit here. And let's find out what objective number 4 is. Nothing of note. This is a very uninteresting battlefield.
It really is.
There's 3 nothing of notes and 1 Oh, we got to roll for that sabotaged. Let's do that right now. So Mike just threw down a 3. Nothing's going to happen to these scouts yet. The Engineer is just going to stick around behind the Leman Russ, probably try to fix it up this turn.
Just going to hit it with just a little bit.
So these Leman Russes with the auto cannons, which all this time I kept thinking were las cannons, just going to creep up a little bit further. And that will bring us to the end of the Astra Militarum movement phase. Going in with the Engineer, going to try and restore a hull point. 5+?
Nope.
Nope. Well, you know what? At least he doesn't make it worse.
This is true.
Going to snap fire the veterans into the drop pod with a melta-gun.
Almost.
Not quite, unfortunately.
Oh well. Nice.
Some more veterans. Going to fire into the Vanguard as well. 19 shots hitting on 3s. Ooh. That could have been a little bit better. 4s to wounds.
That was okay.
Okay, you know what? Not a great hit roll, but 6 wounds, not too shabby. I'll get my 4-up armor save against this, followed by a 6-up feel no pain. So I will lose 4 guys. So 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it's the other arc rifle. So 4 guys go down. Leman Russ battle cannons centered on the Vanguard there. And oh no.
Oh yes.
So that's the first direct hit. And the second shot?
I'm not gonna get this lucky again. Oh my god, I am.
Yes, you are. So that is going to be a total of 12 hits. And he was over it enough that he's going to get 2 attempts at the drop pod as well. So as long as you don't roll a whole bunch of ones, I might be okay. I'm probably going to go to ground on this one.
I did roll a lot of ones.
Wow, you actually did roll quite a bit of ones. But either way, I'm still going to go to ground. It's only going to be a 6-up save from this one, but maybe I can save 1 or 2. Or none. No, look, there's some more ones there. So it is going to give you a first blood and take out a big threat to your lines there. And the shots on the drop pod. First one, 2d6, choose the highest. So that's 1 pen. And the second one, it's going to be 1 pen, 1 glance. So let's see what happens on the pen. And this is open topped, so +1, so it is going to be a weapon destroyed. No more Stormbolter for that guy, and he's down to 1 hull point remaining. The Lehman Rice Punisher are going to fire into the stern guard, snap firing, 20 shots. Oh, I see 2 6s. Wounded on 3s. 1 wound, 3 up save, which I'll make. 6 heavy bolter shots up next. And 1 hit from that, wounded on a...
that?
Yeah, on that. 2, I think. Yeah. No, 3, yeah. And I will save it.
Okay.
Next up, the 2 more Lehman Russes, firing with all their heavy bolters on 4s. Wounded on 3s. Oh, okay, so that's going to be 5 wounds.
Come on, boys.
And I will lose 1, so there goes the Ultramarine. First one to go down, as always. Non-twinling blast cannons. 1 hit, wounding on a 2. That will wound. 4 up invulnerable save.
Nope.
Nope, another one will go down.
Blast cannons.
Next up, the twinling shots. Both, oh yeah, that's right, ballistic skill 3. So 1 hit, and on a 2,
no.
nothing. But you know what, that is still enough to force a panic test over here, so we'll see what they do. The Lehman Russ Exterminator is going to fire across the table into the destroyers over here.
So that's 4 shots per gun, twin link.
Alright. And these are the autocannons you're firing?
Yep.
Beautiful. Wounded on 2s. Okay, that's a good chunk of wounds there. I am in ruins, so I will get my 4-up cover save against this. And 1 wound will be taken. So the first wound on the destroyer there. 2 las cannons up next. Both are going to hit and wounded on 2s. 1 wound, 4 up. Oh, and that will be the 1 damaged guy is now just dead. And that will end the first turn for the Admech, or not the Admech, sorry, the Astra Militarum. I do have 1 quick morale check that I need to make. My stern guard here need to see if they stick around. Thankfully they do, because if they had run around that would have been bad things for me. But you have taken out quite a bit of my tank killing capabilities. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me, especially if my next drop pod fails to come in. And just as a quick recap at the end of the turn, Mike was able to secure Objective 4 with his veterans over there.
Yay.
And get first blood. So he's currently in the lead, 2 to my 1. First things first, going to draw a second card and get secure Objective 5. And Objective 5 just happens to be where the veterans just ran off. And I do have 1 reserve. Let's see if it comes on. Alright, good. He does come on. This drop pod's going to come in and try and secure Objective number 5 with the breachers coming out of it. Direct hit, so it will take number 5, and we got to find out what the objective is. 6, so it's going to be harder to charge anything. One other note, I'm going to use my formation or detachment bonus from the Cult Mechanicus to reuse Benediction of the Omniscience for re-rolling 1s and 2s in the shooting phase. And for my Doctrine Imperative, oh, what the heck, Ballistic Skill +2, Weapon Skill -1. And as the Cult Mechanicus breachers come out, they got to roll difficult terrain. You know, that's enough to sort of keep them in the difficult terrain to get the cover save and just still be within range to try and kill some stuff. Castellans are just going to keep marching up 6 inches, take control of objective number 1, finding out what it is, and we have a Scatterfield Generator, so +1 cover save. These Stern Guard are just going to get into position for a charge against these Lehman Russes right here. And basically hope that my crack grenades will be enough to knock them open. I almost forgot there was one other morale check that I had to make at the end of my turn, or end of his turn. And the destroyers and the Dominus are fine. And now they're just going to move forward 6 inches. Because they got to try and start getting into range of some shots, but they're going to stick around in cover. And that is going to be my movement phase. So I got to hope to take out some tanks this turn. Otherwise, I'm going to be in big trouble going forward. Into the psychic phase, going to get d6 plus 2 for a total of 3. And I'm going to throw it all at forewarning, I think, because I need that invulnerable save more than any. Oh, yeah, because there's no way I'm killing both of these with only 4 melt or crack grenades. So,
It perils again.
Imperials again. All right. Oh, good grief. So that's the result where I got to do a leadership check. My librarian is going to take a wound regardless. If I fail the leadership, I'm going to just lose my librarian and take d6 AP1 hits against the rest of the squad.
You're good.
Alright, so at least I'm not blowing up the squad. So this is going to take us into the shooting phase, and I'm going to start off with the destroyers here. I'm going to fire, or sorry, the breachers. Going to fire into that one remaining Leman Russ Punisher, because I got to try and take it out for overwhelming firepower. So these are all going to be hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s and 2s. So those 2 2s get re-rolled. 6 hits, okay. So you are going to be getting a 5-up cover save from all this at the very least. So you do have some chances here, but as long as I don't roll 1s. So there's going to be 1 pen and 4 glances. So go ahead and roll the pen first, I guess. So you're fine there. And the glances. It is going to be enough to take it out, giving me overwhelming firepower. The 2 transuranic arquebuses are going to fire into this unit of guardsmen, of veterans, hitting on 2s once again. Both are going to hit, wounding on 4s. Both are going to wound, and this is going to be your cover save -1, so you're looking at a 5-up cover save. So one guy does go down, not enough to force a leadership check just yet. Stormbolter from the drop pod into the same... actually, no. He's going to pick on the unit that's not in cover and just instill some more casualties over there. And 1 hit. 1 wound. So that's just another veteran going down. These 4 scouts are going to fire into the veterans as well. Only 4 of them can see. So 4 hits and needing 4s to wound. That's going to be 3 more wounds. 3 more go down. The Castellan Maniple going to run forward 5 inches. 5 inches will get him up to the air. And we're going to quickly go back because once again forgot the sabotage on the scouts. It does not blow up, so the shot stands. And that will end my shooting phase as my TAC Marines are just going to keep standing on the objective they're on, and my destroyers unfortunately cannot run. So we're going to jump right into the assault phase. 1 assault to declare as the Stern Guard and Librarian charge into your 2 Leman Russ. What are they called again?
Annihilators.
Annihilators? Alright. So 6 inches, that is enough to get them all in. So with only 1 assault, I got 4 crack grenades going into this, hitting on 3s. Only 2 hits. And needing 4 to glance, 5 to pen.
Nothing.
Nothing. Alright. This Stern Guard squad is probably not going to be standing for much longer. At the end of my turn, I was able to get overwhelming firepower by taking out the remaining Punisher, as well as taking objective number 5 with this drop pod. Did we roll for the... Oh, it was the grav wave generator on that one, that's right. So that will put me up another 2 points, putting me in the lead 3-2 as we go into turn 2 for the Astra Militarum. So at the very start, going to see if these veterans rally. They sure do.
Finally do.
So the 3 of them are just going to move their 3 inches into the cover of these stacks here for a 5-up cover save. Leman Russ is over here, just going to back up a little bit. Yeah, I don't think there's a way you're getting both heavy bolters in line of sight, unfortunately. But there's still a lot of firepower going into that squad of 4.
Oh, yeah.
And the Leman Russes with the autocannons just going to keep plowing forward. Going to try and get as much firepower within range of my destroyers and Dominus as possible.
There we go.
Battle cannon's gonna stay put. I take it the same is gonna be true of the tech priest there.
Yeah, he's gonna hit it with his axe again.
All right. Veterans moving through cover 2 inches. You know what? That should be enough to get the majority of them within line of sight of the breachers over here, because that is definitely something you're looking to do. Gonna start with the veterans into the breachers. Veterans gonna be hitting on 3s. Oh, there's a happy roll for you. Wounded on 6s. So 3 6s in there, and I got a 3-up armor save against this. And I will take 1 wound. Through the magic of hitting it with a stick, does the tank get healed?
Yes, it does.
Sure does. That's just going to make it a little bit harder for me to try and take those 2 tanks down. Lehman Russ is going to put a pirate plate down here, and it's going to scatter... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That might be scattering into your veterans. So it's going to scatter right back and hit 6 of your veterans.
Let's try this again.
Oh, that's right. You got 2 shots. So the second one... you might still be hitting at least 1 guy. And that's enough to still cause 1 wound. So the 1 hit against the breachers, that will definitely wound. And I will have a 5-up cover save against this. No, so I will take a wound on the front breacher there. And against the veterans here, on 2s, 6 wounds, but you do have your 4-up cover save. Do you want to go to ground?
Yeah.
Alright.
3-up cover save.
Oh, 2 are still going down.
I think that's closest.
And last up, 6 snap-firing heavy bolters into the breachers as well. 3 hits. Alright. Wounding on 4s. And 2 wounds. Alright. Odds are good that you're probably going to kill at least 1 of these guys.
Oh. No.
Yeah, you killed 1.
Oh.
Because it's AP4. Strength 5 AP4, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. These are the breachers. Armor 3. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. No, I made both saves. Autocannons from these Lehman Russes going to fire once again into the destroyers. 8 shots, hitting on 4s, twin linked. Oh, okay. 4 hit already. And adding another 3. How many are going to be wounded here? Needing 2s. So 5 wounds. And I have a 4-up cover save because I'm still in the ruins here. And I will lose 1 of them. So bam! Heavy bolters up next, 6 shots. And not too bad, 4 hits, and these are going to be wounding on 4s. 3 wounds, and they have 4-up cover save. And there goes the other grav cannon. Bam! Las cannons are up next, hitting on 4s. The Dominus is all that's left. Thankfully, no hits. And now these 2 Lehman Russes are going to fire into the stern guard, and I'm going to hope my 4-up invulnerable save takes me through here. 9 heavy bolter shots coming in.
Oh dear.
Oh, 3 hits out of the 9. And 2 wounds, so 3-up armor save. And I'll make them both. Non-twin linked Laz up next. Only 1 hit, but wounding on 2.
Yep.
That will wound. 4-up invulnerable. And bam, the salamander goes next. And the twin linked ones are next. Oh, thankfully they're twin linked.
Yes.
1 hit from that. On a 2. Alright. 4-up invulnerable. Oh no! Another one's going to go down.
Cannot make that.
So there goes the Blood Angel. Snap firing veterans into the destroyer, or the breacher, sorry. 1 hit.
1 hit.
And on a 6, no wound. And that will bring this turn of shooting to an end. Got to find out if my guys run away from all that shooting. Thankfully not, which means I do have 1 guy who's still in base contact here. So we do have 1 ongoing combat to resolve. And I got actually looked up to see if the ongoing combat allows me to pile in, because I'm actually not sure when it comes to vehicles. It's never come up.
Yeah.
So got to check that out. We also just realized we forgot to draw Mike's objectives. He was so happy to start shooting at me. Behind enemy lines and demolitions. I have no fortifications. Get rid of that. Secure objective 2. Okay. Yeah, objective 2 being right there. So nothing he really did in this turn would have been affected by those objectives anyway. He is doing a better job just kind of shooting me off the table right now. So, So upon reviewing all the rules for combat and squadrons and all that sort of stuff, we're not quite sure how this is going to work, because technically we're not locked in combat. However, we have 1 guy who's still in base contact there, and it's treated as though it's an ongoing combat. But the rules for pile-in state that you only pile in to a unit locked in combat. So what we're going to do is we're going to dice this off. On a 4+, we're going to count the combat as not being... Or we're going to count it so I cannot pile in my librarian here. So on a 1, 2, 3, I can pile in.
Yep.
Looks like I can pile in. So he's just going to jump in right there. And on to the actual assault phase. I got 2 crack grenades, once again going into the back of this tank. Both are going to hit. And... One penetrating hit. Okay.
Oh dear.
So I'm looking for a weapon destroyed here. That'd be fantastic. No, it's just shaken. So it's just going to be snap firing all its weapons next turn, which I guess is kind of just as good in this case. And that will bring us to the end of the turn. No objectives were scored, but you did do a number on my Stern Guard and my Destroyers, which are completely wiped off the table at this point. So we're going to go into turn 3 for the Admech and see what I can do to keep in this game. At the start of my turn, I'll draw 3 objectives: study the machines of the foe, networked archaeotech, and secure objective 4. So there's objective 4 right there. I'm not very likely to get that one. And then as for networked archaeotech, I'll be going after 4 and 5. So I'm controlling number 5, so that's going to be a point for me. And once again, number 4 is being held by guardsmen. And for the rest of my stuff, for my doctrine imperatives, I'll do weapon skill +1, or sorry, ballistic skill +1, weapon skill -0. My canticle will be Chant of the Remorseless Fist, so I'll be rerolling 1s in the close combat phase with my Cult Mechanicus units. At the start of my movement phase, my breachers are going to move forward 4 inches. My Dominus is actually going to move back and join this unit of Skitarii Rangers for more ablative wounds. Tactical Marines will continue to tactically sit on this objective. In fine fashion, we'll forget about Sabotage at the end of the turn. Does not explode, and now those scouts are just going to continue sitting there, I think. Castellan's going to continue moving forward 6 inches, and I'm starting to wonder if these guys are actually ever going to get into the fight. That will end my movement phase. I think, yeah, that's going to end my movement phase. And we're going to jump into the Psychic phase. So I'll D6 +2 for a total of 6, and Mike will have 4. I'm going to start by throwing 4 dice at Prescience to reroll my hits. Nope, does not go off. And now let's see if I can give him invulnerable. Nope, does not go off. So that squad is now in very big trouble. Moving on to the shooting phase, these Castellans going to run forward 6 inches.
Oh.
So 6 more inches forward. Unit of Rangers is going to fire into the veterans over here with their transuranic arquebuses. And hitting on 2s once again because ballistic skill 5. And wounding on 4s. 1 wound, which also happens to be... Oh wait, no, it's on hits that's a 6 of precision hit. So 1 wound, 5 up, and you make the save. Sniper's going to fire into the same unit of guardsmen over here. Hitting on 3s. Only 2 hits. And 2 wounds at the very least, but you have your 4 up armor save against it, or cover save.
We're good.
Alright.
Really good.
No kidding. 6 haywire shots into the Lehman Russes with battle cannons, hitting on 4s. Oh, that's a good roll.
Oh, no.
And 3 penetrating hits and 2 glances. So we're going to apply the glances first. So not enough cover, not enough behind stuff to get a cover save there. So 2 hull points being applied right there. And the first penetrating hit against this Lehman Russ will end up being 5, so it's just going to be a wreck. And then the 2 penetrating hits against this one. And this one, we might have to check that you might actually have some cover save on that one. So upon checking it out, this Lehman Russ will have some 4-up cover saves from the ruins. So there's 2 penetrating hits.
I got 1 die.
There you go.
2 die. No.
So 1 pen will go through. And let's find out what it is. 1. So it's just going to be shaken, which means no battle cannon next turn if my charge fails. Storm Bolter from this drop pod going to fire into the veterans. 1 hit. 1 wound.
No.
Oh, wound goes through. This drop pod with its functioning Storm Bolter can finally shoot at something. These veterans right here. And it'll get snake eyes. And that is going to take me to the end of my shooting phase. Moving into the assault phase, I'm going to declare an assault against your Lehman Russ squadron there. Going to try my best. And I'm going to get snake eyes.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, they're not going anywhere. So you're going to have another turn to try and shoot them off the table.
Weird list.
So we're going to go into the assault phase. So only one assault that's actually occurring here. 2 crack grenades hitting on 3s. Well, at least both are going to hit. And what's going to happen? Nothing. Okay. This squad continues to be very unimpressive. And that will take me to the end of my turn 3. I was able to secure a couple of objectives. I got 1 point for networked archaeotech, and I got 1 point for steady machines of the foe. And I think I'm going to ditch objective number 4, simply because I don't have the resources to put into trying to get objective number 4. So that one is just going to go away as we go into turn 3 for the Astra Militarum. And this time I'm going to remember, does the objective explode? Nope, not yet. And we realized Mike did not ditch an objective he meant to. It's just one of those things that we forgot to do on camera. He's getting rid of behind enemy lines. And at the beginning of his next turn, he's going to draw a Witch Hunter and harness the war. Get rid of that. You have no psychers.
No, I don't.
So instead, Blood and Guts. Destroy something in melee. So these tanks here, not really able to do much. Still going to be able to shoot at these 2 remaining Stern Guard. Oh, the Stern Guard and the Librarian with as much as possible.
Librarian.
So at the very least, this guy right here is snap firing. So I got a small reprieve there. Over here, these guys are just going to stay put. These Leman Russes are going to be able to move up with impunity at this point. So 6 inches forward and just kind of pivoting around. These veterans going to move through cover, because you are standing in cover, so you got to roll the dice. So I watched him roll both dice. There was a 1 and a 6. So the 6 is going to let him just move as he wants right there. Let's just get that up there.
There we go.
Veterans over here are going to move through cover. 6 inches again. So just going to reposition a little bit. That will take us to the end of the movement phase. Now we're into the phase that all guard players love the most. Time to start shooting stuff.
Oh.
Gonna start with these Leman Russes. Gonna shoot into their shooting stuff. Only 2 more payments and it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the very least, I'm gonna begin some cover saves against this, simply because all the weapons have to fire together. And aside from the multi-meltas, the loadown is pretty much the same. So no cover against the multi-meltas, but cover against everything else. Yep. So starting with the autocannons.
Which are twin linked.
Yep, good start so far. There you go. Wounded on 2s. So that's a whole bunch of wounds. 3 up armor save. Oh, wow. Okay then.
Really hurt.
Heavy bolters up next.
Not worth it.
And
Wish I had.
Ooh, not as good as the autocannons. And no wounds. Last cannon's up next. 1 hit on a 2.
Okay.
That will wound. And the ruins providing a 4-up cover, which I'll fail. And bam! Down goes a breacher. And 2 multi-meltas. Oh, goody, both hit. And both are going to wound. And that's going to kill a breacher.
Boom.
And the engine seer is going to sacrifice his shooting to give the Leman Russ power of the machine spirit. Because, you know, that's what guardsmen need. Is the ability to shake off shaken results. And going to try and drop a template right on the middle Castellan here.
Not so much.
It's going to scatter way off. Still going to try and snapfire the heavy bolter though. So 3 shots, no hits. Veteran's going to fire into the Stern Guard and Librarian.
Malta.
Malta gun's going to hit. Oh, no wounds.
No, that's not good.
But you do have some las guns coming in.
3 las guns.
All right.
That's cocked.
Yeah, that's definitely cocked. So 3 hits and wounding on 5s. 1 wound. And I'll make the save. So got to fire these tanks separately now because one is snap firing. So we're going to start with the fully operational Death Star.
His heavy bolter.
Okay.
Totally misses.
That's not good. Last cannon.
Last cannon. That one misses. The twin linked.
Good thing it's twin linked.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
On a 2. On a 2.
I'm really thinking I got to go to ground for this one. Yeah, I got to go to ground, otherwise he's just pasted. So 6 up. The librarian. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have reacted that way. That was mean of me. That was actually just kind of amazing. That
was terrible.
He just sort of ducked out of the way as a las cannon shot goes flinging by his head.
These guys.
This fellow over here, all the snap firing shots.
So 6 heavy bolter snap firing.
Nothing. The las cannon.
Non-twin linked. Nothing.
And twin linked.
No,
unfortunately nothing.
All right.
So this squad, beyond all incomprehension, is around for another turn, it looks like.
They're fired.
I think both these squads are fired, to be honest. This squad should have killed a lot more stuff by now.
Yeah.
These tanks should have killed a lot more things. I think there's something going on here. There's some cahoots going on. And that's going to take us to the end of the shooting phase. We have 1 assault to declare. These veterans are going to try and assault into the breacher here for blood and guts. So I will get to Overwatch. On 6s. No hits. So you're going to get to charge in -2 for difficult terrain, but with 11 inches, you are definitely in. And you got yourself some frag grenades, so no worries about slowed down initiative there. So, yeah, we're going to see how this combat goes down. 13 attacks coming in from the guardsmen. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Not a bad start. Wounding on 6s. One wound.
Come on.
No! Okay, the breacher goes down, giving the guardsmen blood and guts.
Unexpected.
So in addition to blood and guts, it has effectively removed most of my, if not all of my anti-tank from the table, at least the stuff that's really threatening you. So I'm actually kind of getting a little worried about what this Leman Russ is going to start doing to me. Moving on to the next assault here. Now, we weren't quite sure how this worked with going to ground, but we didn't find anything that says units gone to ground can't actually attack. So it looks like the attacks will continue against these Leman Russes. So hitting on 3s, 1 hit, and a 4+. That's going to be a pin. All right, going for that weapon destroyed again. Hey, there we go. Weapon destroyed. Oh, now there's 4 weapons.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 5 is a reroll. 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I got the twin linked one, which is kind of good for me. But there's still a lot of dangerous weaponry there.
I'll do that.
And that's going to take us to the end of the turn. So the objectives that were achieved, you were able to get blood and guts. I think we forgot to consolidate these guys as well.
We did.
So blood and guts right there. I wasn't able to get Witch Hunter. Unfortunately, my librarian ducked out of that las cannon shot at the last moment, surviving it by going to ground. And then objective 2, which is stuck all the way back in my side of the table. You're probably just going to get rid of that one?
Yeah, might as well.
All right. So at the end of the turn, we do have to find out if the objective with the scouts is sabotaged or not. Not yet. Oh god, it's going to go off and it's going to be a big one. And we're going to find out where these guardsmen consolidate to. 1 inch.
Not very far.
Yeah, not even enough to get back into cover, it looks like.
Just shuffle this way.
And spread out and start contesting. Oh, not quite yet. We're going to get into a position to contest. So at the end of the turn 3, the score will be 5 points for the Admech from between their objectives and Warlord kill to 3 points for the Astra Militarum. So it's still anyone's game. Now let's go into Admech, turn 4. Let's find out what I get. Turn 4, I have objective 6, destroy, record, rejoice, ascendancy, and secure objective 3. Additionally, at the beginning of my turn, I'll use the Shroud Psalm for my Canticle, so my Cult Mechanicus units will have stealth this turn. So that's going to be stealth on the Castellans, and stealth on the Dominus and his attached unit of Skitarii Rangers. Castellan's just going to keep marching forward 6 inches, going to start going towards the other tanks. These 2 Marines are just going to stand back up and keep swinging. Tactical Marine's going to hang out on the objective over here. Same with the Skitarii Rangers and the Scouts. So most of my stuff is just not moving anymore. Moving into the Psychic phase, D6 plus 2, for a total of 5 for me and 3 for Mike. Gonna throw 4 dice at Prescience. And I will succeed with 3. Would you like to try and deny that?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. And I'm gonna throw 1 die at Forewarning for the 4-up invulnerable save, which will fail. So that will be the end of my Psychic phase. These 2 Castellans, as much as I want to shoot, I'm going to run them forward. 6 inches! Alright, excellent. And they're finally getting into a range where next turn they might actually be able to threaten some things. These Scouts can actually only see one of the veterans, so I'm just going to try and take a pot shot at him. And even on top of that, only 3 of the Scouts can see him. So, on 3s, 2 hits, and 2 wounds. So he will have his 5-up cover save against this. And the 1 veteran goes down. It would actually be the one in line of sight, which is that back guy there. 2 Transuranic Arquebuses. I think I'm going to fire into the veterans as well. They do have Armor Bane, but, I mean, Armor 13. The odds of me actually doing anything are very slim. So into the veterans on 3s. 2 hits, 1 precision shot. Is your sergeant still alive? That fella right there? Alright, I'm going to put the precision shot on the sergeant. So, does it wound him? Nope. And then the other one, 1 wound. So you have your, it'll be a 6-up cover save.
Did not make it.
So one more goes down. Storm Bolter from the drop pod into the veterans. 2 hits. And 2 wounds with no armor saves. This drop pod gonna fire into those veterans right there. And 1 hit. 1 wound, closest being the melt-a-gun. So down he goes. So it is gonna end my shooting phase. So a pair of morale checks to make. So let's start with this unit of veterans right here. They're fine. And then this unit of veterans over there.
That's fun.
Alright, so both veterans sticking around. And only 1 combat happening on this squadron. So once again, 2 crack grenades with prescient, so re-rolling to hit. Doesn't matter, they both hit. And looking for 4 pluses. 1 is off the table. And that's going to be 1 penetrating hit. So either way, it is blown up. And yeah, I guess it's just blown up. Because it's not going to be AP2 or AP1, so it's just a wreck now. So at the end of my turn, I was able to get Ascendancy by holding on to objectives 2, 6, 3, and 5. On top of that, objectives 6 and 3 were also worth the points for me. So Ascendancy will be worth D3 for 1 point. So I will add 3 points to my tally this turn. And because I got to take on a unit in the shooting phase, you know, I'm going to get rid of Destroy, Record, and Rejoice just for drawing other objectives next turn. And at the end of the turn, we have to see if the Scout's objective blows up. Close, but not quite yet. So this is going to take us into turn 4 for the Astra Militarum. So drawing 3 new objectives. We have objective number 2.
That's not good.
Objective number 1. And Supremacy. Oh, rough draws. Starting off the movement phase, this Leman Russ is just going to shift around and then pivot and get full fire onto the squad of Stern Guard and Librarian.
Guys.
These veterans, what are they doing? They're just going to go hide in that cover again?
Totally.
Alright, makes sense to me. Veteran's going to try and go contest objective 5, getting 6 inches, so that is enough to put them into the cover and basically contest. Oh, actually, this was that was a fast attack one.
Their objective secured.
So you are actually holding objective 5 then. The Engineer going to move away, as well as the Leman Russ. And these Leman Russes are going to start moving up and taking aim at the rest of my army. That's going to bring us into the shooting phase. So let's see what the Guard can do with so many of their tanks destroyed at this point. Although it's still a lot of scary firepower. These 2 veterans going to shoot into the Stern Guard squad. We have 2 hits. And 2 wounds.
Wow.
Jeez, that's a lot of 6s. 3 up save. And the last Stern Guard goes down, leaving the Librarian alone. So no lookout service for him. And here comes the Las Cannon hurt.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Uh-oh.
And
There we go. Alright, I'm going to go to ground. 6 up. Not quite.
Twice.
So the Librarian does go down finally. Battle Cannon looking across the table, taking aim at the Warlord and his unit. So where's it going?
Direct hit.
Alright. So gonna hit a whole bunch here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Gonna cause 7 hits. Now thankfully I do have Shroud Psalm, so they all have stealth going down to what's it called? Cover 3 at the moment. And yeah, cover 3. You know what, I'm gonna be gutsy and I'm going to try and tank it all with my Dominus with his 2-up armor save. This is gonna be really dumb of me, I think.
We'll see.
Yeah, that was really dumb of me. So strength 8 will insta-kill my Dominus. So you're going to get him, and you're going to get another guy right here. And that's going to be Warlord kill for you. I honestly would have thought my 2-up armor save would have kept me safe there. Guess not. Engineer going to whack the tank with his hammer again, looking to repair it.
Yes.
Sure does.
Up to 2 shooting.
So some more Leman Russ is going to fire in and try and finish off the unit of Skitarii Rangers. Or at least do some more damage to them.
Let's start with the
autocannon. Alright, bring it. Ooh, twin linked?
Yes.
Good thing. Oh, only 4 hits. Wounded on 2s though. So 3 wounds, and they still have stealth until the end of the turn. So I will make 2 of those saves and lose 1 ranger. Las Cannon's going in now. 1 hit. 1 wound. And 1 surviving Skitarii. Heavy Bolter's up next. 1 hit, on a 3 or on a 2.
No.
Nothing. And the multi-melts are out, so that will end the shooting phase. Now, you did do enough damage here. Yeah, because there was the 2 guys plus the... oh, no, you need to kill 1 more to actually cause the panic test. So they will stick around for another turn. So that will take us to the end of the turn. So first thing, let's see if this objective explodes. Not yet. And Mike was able to achieve Witch Hunter at the end of the turn. Now, his other objectives, Supremacy, Secure Objective 1 and Objective 2. Probably going to get rid of one of those.
Supremacy first. That's
Supremacy first? Okay.
happen.
Alright. So Supremacy has been ditched, and we're going to go into turn 5 for the Admech. At the start of turn 5, I'll draw 5 objectives. Hold the Line, Hungry for Glory, The Will of the Omnissiah, Domination, and No Prisoners. So at the start of my turn, I'll also use the Litany of the Electromancer. So when I get a Cult Mechanicus unit into base contact for assault, if it happens, it will be an automatic strength 4 hit at the initiative 10 step for every model in combat that's locked in combat in base. Stellan's just going to move forward 6 more inches. Scout's going to keep sitting on objective number 6. Tactical Marines doing the same with objective 3. And Rangers doing the same on objective number 2. This drop pod going to fire its Stormbolter into the 2 remaining veterans. 1 hit. And 1 wound. So 5 up cover save against this.
Yes.
And you're fine. 2 Transuranic Arquebuses are actually going to fire into the Engine Seer because they have their 60-inch range and they're going to give it a go. Hitting on 3s. And Snake Eyes, so no hits. And I think that's going to end my shooting phase because I want to make a charge over here. So I'm going to jump right into the assault phase, and my Castellans are going to attempt to assault your 2 remaining veterans there. Your Strength 3 las rifles.
They're my flashlights. They
Yeah.
won't do anything.
Yeah, they're not touching them. So I do have moved through cover, so I ignore the 2 inches for difficult terrain. And with 8 inches, they are definitely going to make it in. So first guy gets into base, and everyone just kind of follows suit as they all try to get in. Actually, there was the grav wave generator, which reduced the charge by 2, but 6 inches is still enough to make it in. There is going to be some Hammer of Wrath, but before I do that, my Data Smith will issue a challenge.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
It can't hurt.
So the Data Smith will just go forward 1 to get into base, and your Sergeant will step forward and try and smack the Data Smith. So first things first, at initiative 10, I have 1 Castellan that's in base, so that's going to be a Strength 6 Hammer of Wrath for no wounds. Next up, I have the initiative 10 Data Spike again in the challenge, which will also fail. And the very last thing, I have 2 Cult Mechanicus units in base, so that's 2 automatic Strength 4 hits for the Litany of the Electromancer. And both of those are going to wound, so you have your 5 up armor saves. And 1 will go down, so the Sergeant will be left. And because I went through difficult terrain, the Sergeant will be going first, hitting on 4s, 4s. So 2 hits, and wounding on 5s. 1 wound with a 2 up armor save. I'll make it. And then the Castellans on the charge will get their attacks in. And the Castellans will have 6 attacks back, hitting on 4s. And that's going to be 3 hits. And wounding on 2s. And the challenge is done. And they will consolidate 6 inches. Just start going towards the next tank. That will bring us to the end of this turn. I was able to get no prisoners for completely eliminating a unit. Hungry for Glory for issuing a challenge, and Will of the Omnissiah. So it is putting me up quite a bit in the points as we go into turn 5 for the Astra Militarum. But before we do that, does the objective explode? Nope. And Mike's going to draw 3 more objectives. Psychological Warfare.
Could happen.
Secure Objective 4.
Alright.
And Objective 4.
That's
Starting off the movement, the Lehman Russ is just going to move forward 6 inches and hold objective number 4. The Tech Priest, or the Engine Seer, is just going to follow along, staying in base. These tanks just going to shift around and put a whole bunch of shots into the Castellan Maniple. This tank's going to turn around and start taking a bead on some other stuff kicking around. There's some scouts you can fire at, or there's some Marines. You got some options. is going to bring us into the shooting phase. I take it you're going to start with the big pie plate?
Yeah, we're going to start with the big pipeline.
All right, Castellan's going to be taking a battle cannon to the face. So it's going to center it right over the data smith. And that's going to be pretty much a direct hit.
Yeah.
It's still going to hit all 3. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. Eats right through the armor save, so I have a 5 up invulnerable.
Nope.
Followed by 5 up feel no pain.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So it will make both the feel no pains. Engine Seer is going to whack the tank with his hammer for another hull point back. Next up, these tanks going to fire into the Castellan maniple as well. So starting with the autocannons. Hitting on 4s, twin linked.
Good thing.
Not a bad start though. So 4 so far. There we go. 8 hits. Wounding on 4s. 3 wounds. 3 wounds, so I got 3 3+ saves to make. Now, if any of these are 6s, it's going to get shot back at your armor 14. Fear that!
Oh, totally.
2 wounds so far. Feel no pain. He
Really?
felt no pain. Wow.
Really?
Last cannon's up next.
Both
Both are going to miss. And you got 6 heavy bolter shots now coming in. So 4 hits from that. Is 1 wound there. And failed the armor save. Feel no pain. He felt no pain. And a pair of multi-meltas. Both are going to hit. 1 wound. 5 up invulnerable. Made the invulnerable save.
Okay.
That is crazy. They just tanked a whole bunch of shots.
Something here is going to die.
By all rights, I should have lost at least 1 Castellan there.
Mm-hmm.
Last, Lehman Russ going to fire into the scouts, starting with the...
Heavy bolters.
Okay. So 4 hits from the heavy bolters. And it looks like 2 wounds from the heavy bolters. They are in 5 up cover, and they got the scatter field, so 4 up cover saves. And I'll lose 1 scout. Non-twin linked las cannon?
Misses.
Nope. And twin linked. There we go. And anything but a 1?
I got
Oh! So not enough to force him into a panic check. So that will end the shooting phase. Any assaults? Does not look like it.
Nope.
Unless you want to assault this drop pod over here with your veterans.
I can't.
Oh, no cracks?
Nope.
So that will end churn 5 for the Astra Militarum. So at the end of the churn, he was able to achieve objective number 4 twice, putting him up to a total of 6 victory points at the end of churn 5. And at the end of churn 5, we were just taking a look at the points. I'm currently sitting on, 11 points with Warlord to Mike's 6 points. So unfortunately, I was able to take an early lead, and I just kind of rolled with it. And unfortunately, his tanks were not able to take me out fast enough. So it will be a victory for the Admech. Mike, awkward left-handed handshake.
Awesome.
There we go. It was interesting to see the tank company. I did enjoy that. That was kind of cool. It's just a shame it didn't perform a little bit better. But as always, guys, we are going to have another battle report. You can go ahead and check that out in the vault in the link below. If you're not a vault member, hit the link anyway. It's going to take you to a 7-day free trial. Lots of great stuff in there. Painting tutorials, quick tips, all sorts of weird, wacky stuff like work in a box. So definitely check it out. Hopefully we see you stick around because we love to have as many people as possible, mostly because it is great to see the community gather around here. People like Mike, lots of great stuff there. 2 thumbs up. So hopefully we see you stick around. And of course we are going to have a quick post-game discussion as well. That will also be in the vault, so you can go ahead and check that out in the link below. As always, guys, happy wargaming.